This is a case study. We're going to be going over ES longs, a trade I took last week on Friday. So again, this is a key level. To quickly break things down, why was this a key level? So again, we have the Asian range, something I always speak about. Notice how we had a very subtle sweep of the Asian range over here. So the Asian range low. So this gives us our Judah swing. So this was my confirmed or my predicted, low of the day. This is the Judah swing. And now from here, we're entering a fair value gap. So I like to be a little bit broad with my zone. So we had a fair value gap just over here. This was my key level. Now, what makes a key level? It's very simple. Key level is essentially a 15-minute fair value gap. So when price gets into this 15-minute fair value gap, if we go down to the 5-minute time frame, when price gets into this 15-minute fair value gap, we are looking for something very simple. We are looking for this. That's all we're looking for. So it's very simple on the surface, but we're going to be using order flow to our advantage. Now, a couple of things we want to see over here. I'm going to break this down before we get into the actual candles itself. We're going to be looking at delta, and we want to see negative delta coming into the area. So negative delta represents aggressive selling, right? So we want to see this. We want to see aggressive selling. That's the first thing. The second thing we want to see is volume, and in particular with volume, we want to look at shifts of volume, right? We want to see the volume shifting, and that's something we're going to be going over on the footprint chart. And the last thing we want to see is we also want to see something called a finished, if I spell this right, finished auction. And a finished auction is when we have a zero on one side, right? So if you remember, we have the bid on the left-hand side and we have the ask on the right-hand side. So what you want to see is you want to see a zero on one side, and you want to see zero on the bid. Because when you see a zero on the bid, and we're going to be going over this on the footprint chart, when you see a zero on the bid, what that represents is there's no aggressive sellers trying to drive price down. So let's see how price enters the zone, right? So we enter the zone, and again, we see a wick. Right, so if we just go down in price, again, we see a heavy sell-off into the zone, right? We see a heavy sell-off. We're still